When the facts get twisted and the lies stack tall, my red, white, and blue heart starts at answering the call. Question everything. Don't swallow the lies they try to sell. 'Cause sometimes logic fails and it drags this nation straight to hell. Conspiracy analysts digging for the truth they try to hide. We the people stand together with our hands on hearts and full of pride. This is my home, my blood, my heritage, my sacred ground. My country's not for sale, and we'll never back down.
What is up? What is up, y'all? Good morning. Good to see everybody piling in the chat. Well, I apologize. I got my aspect ratio way off, and yeah, you could see me trying to hide behind it on each side. So that was a fail of sorts. So anyway, yeah, I'll try to have that fixed tomorrow morning. Or tomorrow. So anyway, how are y'all guys doing? Good to see y'all. Thank y'all so much for showing up. We gonna have another good one. I tell you what, Candace has been on fire. I don't know how many of y'all saw that little clip of Rob McCoy talking about how Brian was suing her and that it was over for her. That yeah, that Brian's gonna ruin her. Yep, he's gonna take all of it. Obviously, obviously he don't know what he's talking about, but he claims that she's making $800,000 a week. And so if you do the math on that, it would really shock me if Brian was able to ruin somebody that was knocking down $800,000 a week. But anyway, let's see who all we got here before we get going. Hold on. All right. Debbie Smith, first one in the house for a while now. How you doing this morning, Miss Debbie? Good to see you here. Good to see you here. Camino, how are you doing this morning, Camino? Always good to see you. Killing me, Smalls. What's up? I don't think I've seen you the last couple mornings. Good to see you in here now. Let's see. Daisy, what? How you doing this morning? Let's see who else we got. We got Heather P in the house. What are you doing, Heather? Good to see you here. Yeah, I know. I seen I seen your comment about missing it. So hey, you made up for it. You're here now, so no problem. We'll be all right. We have many more to go, so there's plenty for you to catch. Keza, good morning, Keza. How are you doing, Amelia? How are you doing, Amelia? Brig is here. Oh, yeah. I'm starting to love it. Good to see all of y'all. Let's see who else. Shauna. Good morning, Shauna. How are you doing? Always good to see you here. Let's see. Anybody else? I know there'll be more piling in. So Brett Booth is in the house. The man. Yes, Brett, thank you very much. I'm glad you enjoyed it, but I'm going to have to make it a little wider. I forgot to adjust the aspect ratio on it. So, yeah, it was, I thought it was good though, other than that. Anyway, let's see. Kay Kirkland, what are you doing, Kay Kirkland? Good to see you. Good morning. Good morning. Molly, good morning, Molly. Oh, yes, I'm loving it. Let's see. Who else we got? Let's see. All right, looks like that is it for right now. I'm guessing there'll probably be more piling in as we go, which would be great. But thank y'all all for showing up, the ones that are here. Y'all are my early birds, I guess. So anyway, let's see. What else was I gonna address? I don't know if I've got anything. So me and Scarrick are finalizing a time. We are both so crazy busy. So I mentioned doing it possibly tonight, but we may be doing it Friday night. I will let y'all know. I promise. I'll give y'all some time in advance. It's just so crazy with the schedules and the practices and stuff before they go to Knoxville to play at state. So just trying to work through all that, and she's got a lot of stuff going on too. So we will make that happen for sure. Looking forward to it. And then we got John Bray will be here Saturday. So got some things I want to run by him, and he's always got some new stuff to talk about. So that theory is ever evolving. There's always there's just so much there. There's always a little something else to be picked up on or learned. So anyway, and I really want to talk to him. I really want to talk to him about Candace finally coming out and endorsing it. And so, yeah. Anyway, guys. All right. Let's see what we got here. Oh, I didn't add it to the stage, of course. Okay. Well, that stopped at a good place, right on a black screen. That'll be all right. All right, guys, without further ado, let's get this going. And you know how it goes. Good morning, Henderson. How you doing? Oh, Sleeping Beauty's here too. Sophie. Hey, hey, hey. Yeah, we got Kelly. Oh, we had a bunch of them pile in. Yeah. Hey, good to see all of y'all. Always good to see y'all. We got Sweden in the house. We love our international. We love our little international community. That's awesome. It's amazing. It's just amazing, really. You don't ever really think about how far you know your message can end up going. Even somebody as small as me, small and somewhat insignificant. But it always amazes me, and I really appreciate y'all guys from across the pond, whichever direction across the pond it is, across the pond. So without further ado, let's fire it up. Let's see what Miss Candace has to say, and you know the routine. We'll talk about it as we go.
Boy, oh boy, do I love you sleuths back home. Okay, I have to tell you, crowdsourcing to solve a globally consequential murder, this might be the first time it's ever been done in the history of the world, but it should not be the last time. Check out this email that we got yesterday in response to our show that we presented. What another sleuth actually happened to notice yesterday, that mysterious white on the black tempered glass shards that were shattered in the back of the SUV. That sleuth from yesterday pointed to the plausibility.
I don't know if anybody watched this episode yesterday or watched the whole episode yesterday, but I really want you to pay attention here because, me and John have talked about it. John's talked about it lots of places. But the fact that it appears on some of those shards that there's some of the white or gray or whatever color I guess it's white, for the road emblem on the front of the microphone. And I've always agreed that's exactly what it looked like. But whoever this sleuth here is has got some good eyes. And I think I agree. I think it's pretty undeniable what it is. So we'll let her continue on.
That Charlie's road mic was rigged to explode. They said, look, there's white on some of these pieces, Candace. Well, then we had someone send us an email and they started putting the pieces together. One crucial piece. They wrote, Dear Candace and team, I'm watching your show from earlier today. I'm in France and I had to stop watching when you showed the shards after reading that email. I quickly spotted the USB logo on the shard at the 15-minute, 30-second mark, the one to the left of the screen closer to you. And I wanted to check it. Please see below. All I did was screenshot your video and rotate the bit with the shard to line it up with a promo shot of the Rode mic. I think there's no room for doubt here. It's clearly the USB logo and or icon. Game over. Feel free to get in touch if you have any questions. I'm going to show you. This is what they attached to from our show.
Like legit, I don't think there is any denying that. And whoever that was, it got a good set of eyes. Obviously, I can see it right now like that. Sorry, here, let me at least do this. I don't know if that helps. All right, I'm just going to get my ugly mug off here for a minute. Whoops. There we go. That helps. I think it's pretty well undeniable.
The picture.
What the hell else could it be? And just so happens to be in the floorboard of that vehicle? I think not.
And they then obviously flipped it and showed that that was the USB. I think this is incredible. Legendary Inspector Gadget finding. We did it ourselves. We can blow up that image and
I mean, let me know in the chat if anybody has any doubts. If any of y'all has any doubts whatsoever that that is exactly what that is, I want to hear why. Because, like, I don't know. I think that's it. I'm confident that's it.
rotate it as well and put it side by side with the Rode Mike's UBS icon. So that really
Come on, Candace. You're known for that stuff, you know. She's an excellent speaker, but boy, she gets a little dyslexic at times. That's USB, not UBS. But who am I to criticize Candace Owens? Nobody at all. I promise.
is something I do feel like this is what we have to do. We have to get really molecular to close this case. I do believe firmly that it was Charlie's Rode mic bits that were shattered all over the car floor. And by the way, you guys were so in the weeds on this that I even had opticians emailing me to inform me that it was not possible for it to be sunglasses on the ground. The emails were like, hey, I don't know if you know this about sunglasses, but they're actually not allowed to shatter like that. There's a whole process in how they're created because obviously they are covering people's eyes, so they cannot create them in a circumstance in which they might shatter and glass would get all over people's eyes, which is why, generally speaking, you know, if you break your sunglasses, or if you break your glasses, they maybe crack or it just
They don't want it to bust apart in small pieces and end up in your damn eyeball is basically what she's getting at. And look, it's that way with a lot of types of glasses. Look at windshields. I mean, there's yeah. I never would have thought. And looking at those pieces, to me anyway, looking at those pieces, they appeared to be thicker than what a piece of sunglasses would be. But they are correct. Those things are not intended to break into little shards like that could be scattered everywhere.
the lens just pops out of the frame. And it was amazing. I'm learning so much. And she sent me step by step of the qualifications, what they have to pass, the inspections they have to pass. Anyway, this brings us to Brian's Pinocchio movie, the emergency room edition. Because why exactly did Brian Harpole spin such an extraordinary tale? A tale that I can tell you has upset.
I mean, extremely extraordinary. Like, oh my God, as many adjectives as you can think of on the front of there. Like, that was one of the worst performances I have ever seen. And it was only probably, I would guess the runner-up to that would be his other interview with Gary Melton. That one was terrible too. But this guy, I don't know. Like, it wasn't even just what he said. The way he said it, like he just he should have not done that. Like, they got rules. I couldn't break the rules. What am I supposed to do? I can't break the rules. I mean, like, Jesus Christ, come on.
Deeply people who work in emergency rooms all around the world. A frankly implausible story because outside of blatant corruption, incompetence, a flagrant violation of every known law and hospital policy on the books, we can assume Brian Harpole is telling a porky pie, right?
Okay, Kirkland, that was a mixed berry goodies powder.
So let's at first re-listen to his extraordinary story because it is important. And
Morning, Jax. I seen you slipped in here on me. Well, let's see. Daisy time. Thank you very much for that. I really appreciate that. Y'all are so generous. Tony Wilson in the house. Good morning, Tony. Good morning. Let's see. I know some other 135. What is up? 135. Always good to see you here. Yeah, so I really couldn't tell you that. It makes about as much sense as Brian Harpole, literally in his words, climbing up on top of Charlie to cut his shirt off. I really want to hear from some witnesses since, by all appearances, And according to what we're told, the FBI grabbed every piece of film at that hospital. I would really like to talk to a witness or somebody to talk to a witness and see if they can confirm whether Charlie had a shirt on when he rolled through that front door. Because I've always felt like there's probably a good chance that Brian got rid of that shirt before he ever got out of the car, but maybe not. Who knows? I don't think he climbed up on top of him. I think if he'd have tried to, I don't know. Maybe he just maybe it's his way with words. Maybe that's not what he meant. But I can guarantee you, if he tried to climb up on that gurney with him, somebody would have stopped him. What a retard!
Requires our imagination. Take a listen.
We get to the hospital. Actually, we make it to the hospital through the traffic. We've got full wound pack in. We get out and we carry in to the door. Well, once we make it into the door, we see a gurney on the left-hand side.
That is true, Kirkland. I mean, and look, there have to be several people involved in this, obviously. But, and I'm going to talk to John a little bit more about this when he comes on Saturday. But there's a newer channel on YouTube on Escobar. Y'all should go check her out. But she looks at it a little bit differently than what I've heard most people at least present it. And so I want to run it by him and see what he thinks. But the way she presents it, it could almost be that at least some of the ones directly around him maybe would not be quite as guilty as what we think. Now, that's not, look, I say look into them. I'm not saying this theory is the one. It's just another thought. But at the end of the day, what I was going to say is, and the military has perfected this, and the intelligence agencies, but compartmentalization, and we'll get into this when we do our whole moon landing thing. But and that's the argument that has always been used for the moon landing. Look at all the thousands of people that would be involved in this great deception. And you're telling me that it's not ever come out officially? Nobody's actually come out and said. It's called compartmentalization. Everybody's got a part to play. They have a job in the deception, but they know what they're doing. They don't know exactly what they're doing it for, and they don't know what the guy next to them is doing, and they don't know what, So that is one way that you can get a lot of people in on something, but not necessarily. And they might even know something's going on, but they're not read in. They're not on the, they're not on a need to know basis. They have no need to know. And so they may know something's up, but they just don't know what. And look, may not be anything to any of that, but I think it's worth considering.
We put him on a gurney and then I wheel him into a room. I start giving the patient information.
Tony, hopefully we can get some good, solid answers for them really, really soon. That's what we're trying to do here.
To the staff there. I end up getting on top of him and cutting the shirt that he had on off, that white Freedom shirt. And so I cut it off so they could get to him, so that I didn't articulate this to them, but I wanted to get.
That's an awful big word for a man of your caliber, Mr. Brian.
that stuff off so they could put a defibrillator on him.
Yeah. So Brian, thank God he was there, because, they probably wouldn't have ever thought to put a defibrillator on him if Brian hadn't been there and cut his shirt off for him. It's, yeah.
And so,
he's just thinking, I can see the gears turning, and he was like, why did I just say that? Freaking stupid.
and then started talking about pushing drugs. And so I was back and forth with them.
Yeah. He had to let them know what drugs to give them, in a situation like that. You can't take any chances. Yeah, that's the kind of thing that can only come from a true professional. And of course, we all know Brian Harpo is the king
on drugs and defibrillator. And so then, once you get that shirt cut off and moved out of the way, there's enough of medical professionals in there. And so I just want to get out of their way. And so, got out of their way and walked out of the room and stood outside the room and held guard on the outside door of the room so nobody else could come in there.
And thank God he was there to watch the door. The man literally just let his protectee be killed in broad daylight in front of thousands of people. And I guess they were supposed to feel more safe and more secure with this jackass standing at the door.
Yeah, I'm going to start doing that when I go to the ER. I'm not going to wait in line. I'm going to grab gurneys. I'm going to start telling them what kind of drugs to give them and guard the doors. So we have to.
That is very right, Jax. Yes, that is absolutely the case. And one thing I will say about the Google thing, I hear there's obviously a lot of dumbass arguments against it. People say that that's not what it's intended for. It's not repeatable, blah, blah, blah. But yes, that actually is what it's intended for. I showed some AI answers about this particular topic on one of my streams. But that it said that that it is used for looking at trends. A lot of different they use it for different sales, so they can see what kind of products people are looking for or what have you. So it is, if you know how to use it. And not only that, it has been used in law enforcement. Look, the most recent one and most notable would be in this what's her name, Savannah Guthrie's mom, Nancy Guthrie. Megan Kelly reported on it. Said that the law enforcement had used Google Trends to search and see who had been and when, what time frames, they'd been looking at Nancy. So, regardless, that's a dumbass argument. It's no good. But one thing I will say, I always hear, they've got so many secure and classified and all these different, why would somebody use Google Trends? And why would somebody Google somebody when they have all these other top secret ways to search? And I understand that, and I had an issue with that. I had a slight issue with that for a while, but I got to thinking about it. I'm most of these things, even though we're feeling like that this is some type of nation state, hit. So even at the nation state level, more than likely, it is not 100% condoned or by the very, very top brass. Everybody cannot be in on this. There are people that have a conscience. So in my mind, if it is some rogue element in a government, to me, it would not be a good idea to jump on their ways of doing these searches, because then there'll be a record of it forever, and the wrong person sees it, and then all of a sudden, whoops. So in my mind, that's why Google was used, because at least then it could not be traced back to a particular person. Now, I could be totally wrong on that. Maybe my little gears were turning a little too hard that day. But that is my answer to that, because that is one that people bring up a lot. Gary Melton brings it up all the time. We have got all these different ways of searching. Why would they use Google? That's just stupid. Well, maybe it's not so stupid.
Ask ourselves, what is Brian Harpole trying to answer for here with his story, right? He's actually admitting something. Common sense, every fib that is told is only told because you're trying to cover up a truth or explain a truth that might not make sense, right? So what Brian is, I think, rather truthfully admitting here is that he was the person responsible for the removal of Charlie Kirk's shirt, right? No other reason to insert yourself into that narrative unless that piece is true, which, as we explore our rigged microphone theory, is an admission that Brian Harpole would be the person responsible for removing the biggest piece of explosive residue evidence, Charlie's shirt. He is attempting to make that sound reasonable to the public. I was worried about the defibrillator, and that's the reason why I cut.
Diecast, good morning. Good to see you in here. Forgive me if you have been here before, but my brain can only hold so much. So every now and then it slips my mind, until the person's here a time or two. But if you have not been here before, thank you for coming and checking us out and coming and hanging out. This is the best chat on YouTube, best chat on the internet. These people will make you feel more than welcome. These are the best people like you could ever hope to meet. We've got a rule about people. If they ever pop up in here, the rule says that, you got to keep popping up in here whenever we go live as much as possible. So hopefully you'll follow the rules there, and we'll be seeing you a lot more. Because like I said, this is the best place on YouTube to hang out, and we are very very happy to have you.
Charlie's shirt.
This is a family.
In case you find that shirt had been cut using scissors later down the line. Now, since I do not accept that a random dude took command over a hospital ER room and was grabbing gurneys and was allowed to freely jump across on top of, a bleeding victim with a pair of scissors in hand. Someone you don't, is this the person?
Oh no, it wasn't scissors. Don't you know every good guy in his line of work has got a good pocket knife, so he jumped up there and pulled out his big old pig sticker and cut it off of him.
Person who harmed him. I don't accept any of this. I have to then logically consider that Brian removed Charlie's shirt somewhere else, right? And the only other option would be in the car on the way over to the hospital. Now, beyond anything else, the story.
Yeah, there is. I can't remember the story behind that. But you got me thinking now. I'll have to dig into that and see. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure they got leaked to her shortly, after, like early on. But I don't remember the exact story of where and how they came to be.
Story that Brian tells us about what did happen in the car does not match the evidence of what we see in the photos that we were never supposed to have in our possession. These photos were never supposed to see the light of day. So let's review Brian's claims so that you understand them, okay?
Hey, Jax, that's interesting. You ever done any YouTube appearances or anything? Be more than welcome, or be more than happy to talk to you sometime. I think it would be good to get the opinion of somebody from that particular, like you've got lots of these military guys, and look, I'm not taking anything away from them, but I think people are tired of hearing from just straight up military people. It'd be nice to get somebody a little more on the civilian side, though, that has been in that line of work. Just throwing that out there, give it some thought. But I would like to talk to you about it either way, because I do have, well, obviously, I got questions.
Okay. First, we submit to you all a graphic of how they all piled into the car, okay? So we are in a GMC SUV. You've got Dan Flood there in the passenger seat. You've got Justin Davis driving. We have Brian Harpole, Rick Cutler in that middle row. Charlie is going to be across them. You note his legs are hanging out of the...
Morning, Republic Tea Room. Good to see you here. Good to see you here. Hey, what's up, Susan Meadows? Glad you made it. Glad you made it. The hall monitor is in the building.
The door, we're going to discuss that in a second. And in the back seat to himself is Frank Turek. So here are the facts based off of Brian Harpole's testimony. They have different testimonies, but Brian Harpole's testimony regarding that short journey to the hospital. The hospital was about 8 minutes away. If you look that up just on Google Maps, that's if you're doing the speed limit. But they were not doing the speed limit. Brian makes
Good morning, Lynn Sparks.
it clear that they were going 60, 80, 100 miles per hour. That's what he says. We're going 60, 80, 100 miles per hour, weaving through the streets. So what we can reasonably deduce from that statement is that there was no traffic on their way to the hospital. You can't hit those speeds if there is traffic. And so they probably arrived faster.
Probably couldn't hit well, look, I don't know. Out in Utah, I guess it's probably fairly open. So maybe they probably got some straight roads and stuff. So I was going to say even without traffic, I doubt it, but you never know. in places they could have hit those speeds, I guess.
than the 8-minute Google Maps estimation. We can safely assume that means that they shaved off a couple of minutes, approximately, let's say, a 6-minute ride. I think that's fair, right? It's also important to note that Brian claims that they did not close.
Jax, are you saying that if the EMTs if the EMT's help wasn't utilized, wasn't needed, I guess, even though I mean obviously it probably was needed, are you saying that y'all would have maybe possibly at least took their medical bags when they offered them instead of just kind of shoving them out of the way and going on?
The car door, which was behind him as he was working on Charlie, where he was sitting, right? He says it was because Charlie's legs were too long and they just needed to quickly get out of there. If you go back and watch footage of them pulling out, you can indeed see that the door is ajar. So let's assume that's true. And instead, how they dealt with this door, which was open while they're doing 60, 80, 100 miles per hour, is Rick Cutler holds Brian Harpole steady as Brian is working on Charlie. Okay.
I'm calling bullshit. I mean, if indeed the door was still open, okay, maybe, but like the way he describes it to me is just ridiculous. And look, maybe they rode the whole way there like that. I don't know.
Okay, so he's trying.
He's a brother. He's got the tattoo. That means he couldn't possibly drop me and let me fall out the vehicle. That tattoo's what done it. That tattoo saved him.
Trying to stop the bleeding in his neck, according to Brian Harpole. And Rick Cutler is basically, he's entrusting his life to Rick Cutler. Take a listen to Brian's own words on this.
The problem is we're going down the road and Charlie's so tall that his left leg is down in the door and the door won't close. And so I'm on my knees with the door open with my butt hanging out of the side and I'm on my knees doing the medical. And Justin's driving, we're going 60, 80, 100. And Rick has me across the kit in my shirt so that I can use both hands to do the medical on. And
so you don't fall out of the car.
So I don't fall out. And I just look at him and I don't need to say, you got me. He's got me. I know he's got me. Rick's a brother. He's got the tattoo. And so I was like, he's got me. And so he
got the tattoo. He's got me. That tattoo, that's all it takes. Don't matter who's on the other end of that tattoo. He got me. He had me.
I'm just working medical. And Frank's praying out loud. Rick's praying out loud.
Okay, so if you're imagining that, we're going to try to do like a really sloppy AI to present that.
And I don't know if anybody, I'm sure some of you do, but there's probably some that don't. But I just imagine 36 feet of gauze. Now, obviously, Candace is a little bit confused on how this gauze would be used. She mentions wrapping it around his neck. That's not what was happening with it, I wouldn't think. I don't think it was used, but if it was to be, I don't think they would have wrapped 36 feet around his neck. Okay, maybe something to hold some packing in there to keep it from coming off. But yeah, so the main use of that gauze would be to pack that thing with, get lots and lots and lots of pressure, So she's a bit confused there, but I just want you to think about how much 36 feet is. That's unbelievable. And I don't care. I mean, yes, it was a fairly good sized hole, it appeared, but 36 feet? Come on now.
To you, but if you're thinking, by the way, hey, Frank's in the back seat, he's not doing anything, could he maybe just kind of lean over and close the door? Well, you heard him. Frank, according to Brian, was simply praying in the back seat. He's on his knees on the ground. We've got Rick Cutler reaching over to him. And he then claims that during this time, while Rick is holding him, Rick is busy, Frank's praying, you got those other two in the front, he's going to put 36 feet of dressing around Charlie's neck. 36 feet. I want you to hear him say that. That's a remarkable.
Again, I don't think he meant he put 36 feet around Charlie's neck, but, I digress.
Remarkable amount, very short drive. He's working, like he says, quickly. Take a listen.
I've got to stop that bleeding. That's my primary thing. And so where he had a pulse then, it's unknown. The body's an amazing thing that can do things even when it's technically, destroyed.
Brett, I think they're kind of one and the same these days, the way it seems to me anyway.
And so my concern is bleed control. And so I'm just, Rick's got me,
Bleed control.
Justin's driving, world's coming by. I'm working, I end up putting about 36 feet of.
You notice nobody else that was involved in any of that day has said the first God blessed word. Not any of them. Not Dan Flood. All right, let me rephrase. I'm sorry, Frank Turek, but none of the other security team. Not Dan Flood, not Rick Cutler, not Justin, none, not a word.
Dressing in him, and then four 4x4s, and then 2 hemostatic 4x4s.
Sheesh.
Now, yeah, again, I'm wondering, could Frank Turek come in for an assist here? But he does make it clear that he doesn't know whether or not Charlie has a pulse. They're not doing CPR because his focus is on getting his wound dressed. And he also says the human body's amazing. I mean, we've learned that.
Vegas and Bama, good to see you here this morning. Good morning, welcome in. You're gonna have to forgive me if you've been here, but I don't remember seeing you in the chat. Look, once you show up once, once, twice maybe. After that, you're good. I recognize you every time. Sometimes I'm not 100% sure, and so I apologize for that. But if you have not, we got a rule that says you pop in here that you got to show up after that. So hopefully you will do that. We will be seeing you here regularly. This is the best place online to hang out. Best group of people. It's like a family. Everybody will make you feel welcome. It's awesome, and it's awesome to see you here.
It's so amazing. It stopped at 30.6, 3,000 pounds of energy coming at him in a bullet. So why not just keep going? Let's just hope for more miracles.
And absolutely a good point. Very much so.
Miracles here, not check his pulse and not do CPR and just worry about stopping.
If you were to have used a shape charge instead of a bullet, if you were to use a shape charge instead of a bullet and would have gone according to plan and had hit him in the chest, there probably wouldn't be just a huge amount of blood. Obviously, because of the heat, it would probably somewhat cauterize as it went through. It would definitely bleed. Don't get me wrong. But it seems like to me, it might not bleed quite as much as if it was a gunshot. And so with the white shirt, what blood was there would show up a lot more. This is just me spitballing. I have absolutely nothing to base any of this on. But that's what I've wondered if that's what the purpose was. But I don't know. I don't know that we'll ever know.
The bleeding with 36 feet of dressing. And he repeats that story to Paramount Not So Tactical in a separate interview. Take a listen.
We're getting off the X, and so I'm on my knees, and I'm both
He spends a lot of time on his knees, ain't he? And I don't think, and he ain't praying.
hands, and I'm starting to pile out like, pack pressure, exactly. And it's the saturation point's unbelievable. And you're not pulling it out, you're adding to it, right?
Right.
And so we're getting that down in there. And I remember, it's a training point. We've done to it before, and there has to be a better way, like a manufacturer. Maybe we can go into it. It's like that little slit on the side of those.
You're talking about the hemostatic gauze?
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, guys.
I usually go in and actually cut them a little bit more.
But then, it's like, we need something to pull. We need something in real time, right? And so I'm opening those with my mouth and then putting them down and then spreading it out a little bit and then putting them down so I can get a pack in that. And then I'm holding it there and then working off the other one.
Okay, so 12 yards, 36 feet. He's opening the packs. He's talked about he's got 2 packs of this with his mouth. It's discussing how difficult it is to open those packs. Miraculously, there's no evidence of that in the car. What there is evidence of is that he used.
No, I mean, where did all those packs go? There is literally the wrapper for like 1 4x4 in there is it. I mean, I guess could they been out of the sight of the, or out of the field of view? Maybe. We all know why there wasn't none in the picture.
4x4.
And best I remember, even that wasn't like completely saturated.
EMS quick clot dressing, which he admits he used that just one pack. Here is the picture. We can actually look at the floor, and we have the entire floor of the back of where he was. And you can see that he's got that one pack, which he potentially opened with his mouth on the side. All of that looks to be a fact check true. And I just want you to see, like, this is 4x4 dressing. Here's the actual pack that's available online. I don't know what to think about why there's not more. Why we can't see more if he's pulling out all of this.
Oh, well, the door was hanging open, and Brian was hanging out, and they blew out of the car. That's why.
On the ground, I would expect to see more unless they mysteriously cleaned up the other packs that he was opening. No, those 4x4 packs, those are just 10 centimeters, 10 centimeters by 10 centimeters, nowhere near the 12 feet, the 36 feet that he's talking about. Now, he certainly, and it sounds like, also had a roll of dressing, but those are sold at just 4 yards a roll. So why on earth did Brian have handy 6 rolls of dressing in his small medical bag in addition to clotting packages?
I'd say most of them are local to Utah. And if we are indeed correct about this whole Fed and Mormon mafia, they may just know better. I mean, besides, there is a gag order for any potential witnesses and all that good stuff. But regardless, they may be scared too. I mean, you got to think in those type of situations where there's all these communities that are so intertwined and so, like you it would be dangerous.
That just seems to me to be very excessive, and like we should see some evidence of that on the ground. Okay, I'm just asking you to park that information in the back of your mind. There's a reason for that. If we continue to look at the actual evidence of the car, we then have to ask ourselves, what could it account for Frank Turek's, and it has to be a lie, according to Brian Harpel, it's a lie.
Definitely a lie. Sophie, his name was, oh God, now my mind just went blank. What was his name? I'll think of it here in a minute. Yeah, I'm going to talk about him at some point here in the near future because he kind of, now's a good time to be talking about him because this all happened in the same time frame. But yes, went from hospital to hospital. They claimed he had a rifle and that he was looking for the victim. So God, I wish I just had his name right on the tip of my tongue. I'll think of it here in a minute. But yeah, we'll be talking about him in the near future.
Frank Turek says that he himself, Frank, tried to start CPR. And to be clear, we can immediately determine that Frank Turek is likely the one lying in that scenario and not Brian Harpel because Charlie was lying across the seats. Okay? His middle section was therefore not flat. You cannot conduct emergency CPR on a person that is laying across 2 captain chairs with their midsection in the air. Brian, both of his hands are occupied. He would be, it's not an ideal position at all, but like he's the person that would be in the position to address Charlie's chest area. It's not possible. Okay. You need a flat surface to do.
Hey, excellent point, Shauna. Yep. I'd say you're onto something there. Yep. Very good point.
CPR, everybody knows this. And Brian has already admitted that it was him that was on the floor, down on one knee beside the chair because Charlie's legs were dangling off. Okay, here's a very bad AI diagram that we're trying to show you of what Brian Harpel is saying happened, right? Brian would probably be a little more backed up toward the end there. And of course, we know Rick is going to be pulled over to the side, holding on to him. Frank Turek is in the back seat. You're not conducting CPR in this environment. I cannot stress enough that CPR could not.
Everything, Lynn Sparks, and it's so sad. Everything. That's why a lot of people refer to this, what's going on as the Great Awakening. People are waking up. People are starting to realize, now let's see what we can do with it.
Have been conducted in that car. Brian is telling the truth twice when he says that. He focused on the bleeding, he says. So why is there this disconnect? Why not just simply say, if you're Frank Turek, yeah, I was just praying in the back. I'm going to tell you what I think. I'm going to tell you why I think, similar to what I said before, when you are telling a little bit of a porky pie, the rule is it's because you're trying to introduce a truth that doesn't really make sense. Okay. So here's what I think, not what I know. This is the allegedly, if OJ Simpson did it. Okay.
Yeah, Sophie. I mean, and I think was it Republic or Tea Room that mentioned it. No, Kay Kirkland. I'm sorry about the cruise there. Yeah, I mean, look, we already know that several of the surgeons were searched on Google, and seems like some other hospital staff were. I know, like the coroner and let's see, the medical examiner. Yes, I'd say it was probably a hand-picked skeleton crew if I had to be completely honest. That's how I feel about it.
Fact, my opinion, allegedly. I suspect that the CPR story, which cannot be true, and which Brian Harpel says is not true, was necessary because Frank needed an excuse for why he changed into hospital scrubs when he got to the hospital. Remember, Frank did not help carry Charlie into the back of the car. He did not run over to Charlie when Charlie got hit. He never traverses over Charlie's body or near the men.
Yeah, and I think this is really, really important that I could see when Frank crawls into the vehicle. He has zero blood on him, none whatsoever. And there's no way he could have had, because like she's saying here, he did not help carry Charlie. He didn't go over to Charlie immediately. So, I would be surprised if he had blood on him, but yet, according to his story, we'll let her keep going.
That were holding him to get into the car. Do not forget, Frank climbed into the SUV from the trunk. He didn't even have to go through, he climbed in through the trunk cleanly. Let's watch Frank get into the car, courtesy of Terrell Farnsworth. Take a look at this.
He just shot Charlie.
Watch that trunk. There's Frank. He's going to get in that way. Nope, Rick's going to be busy. He gets in,
That way.
runs
This
around,
way.
and opens the trunk and gets into the car. Clean. Fresh, white polo shirt. So Frank did not touch Charlie after Charlie got hit.
And that is, of course, our dear friend of the show, air quotes, Terrell Farnsworth, the one that did the selfie video saying, he dead, they shot him, he's dead.
He had not helped transport Charlie into the SUV, and he entered clean through the trunk, meaning there shouldn't be any blood spill on Frank Turek, okay? He had to willfully hop over from the trunk to even get into the back seat in the first place. The back seat, which should have been clean, according to the story that Brian is telling. So given those facts and given Brian's testimony that Frank just prayed while they worked, how did he get so much blood on him? He certainly should not have had a significant amount of blood, which required him to change his clothes into surgical scrubs at the hospital. How did he get so much blood on him? He needed a story, in my opinion. I tried to start CPR. We tried.
I mean, he does need a story because he, they claimed that he changed into hospital scrubs because of all the blood on him. Well, we know when he gets into the vehicle, he has no blood on him. And as she has pointed out, Charlie was in no position to receive CPR. The first and foremost is because the neck wound had not been properly dealt with. He was still bleeding out. So CPR would be the last thing that you would want to do. You're not helping matters if you have an open wound like that is actively, bleeding everywhere. You're not doing him any favors to make his heart pump. So that's the first reason why Charlie was in no position to have CPR done. And the second, obviously, as she just stated, he's laying across captain seat. So, there's nothing supporting him underneath. So it's ridiculous to put it mildly.
Try to do CPR. That's why I was touching Charlie. By the way, I want to be clear, there's no such thing as we when it comes to the physical touch of CPR. One person conducts the CPR, another person might help.
Well, there is we if you've got a Chinese mouse in your pocket named we.
Help count, breathe into the mouth. But delivering chest impressions is not a team sport. You can switch on and off. Brian says, we didn't do that. And the person, we didn't even know if he had a pulse. That's what he said. Why would you conduct CPR if you're not, like, none of it makes any sense. And like I said, the person who would have been in the worst possible position to give compressions to Charlie's chest outside of the driver would be the man from the trunk, amidst 36 feet of gauze being unrolled and wrapped around somebody's neck. So what do our eyes tell us happened in this car when we look at the shards?
Again, I want to stress, he and I don't feel like he did anything with 36 feet of gauze, but regardless, what would have been meant by that is that they stuffed 36 feet of gauze in there, not that they wrapped 36 feet around his neck.
When we listen to Frank's discrepancy, when we listen to Brian's discrepancy, they're implausible stories. One trying to suggest why he cut off the shirt, the other one trying to suggest why he had so much blood that he needed to change, okay? Let's consider this a critical thinking exercise. Again, we're theorizing here, not a fact, an opinion, okay? We used to be able to do this, to think critically from the evidence that we can see in our car. It looks to me like we can conclude firmly that Frank did indeed touch Charlie, and he got a lot of blood on his hands in the process.
After working a 12-hour shift, it just makes you want to type in all caps, don't it, Henderson? That's funny. You know you're good. That's great. We love having you here.
That's how do we know? Look at the back seat where only Frank was sitting. Here are the photos that we showed you. We're going to zoom in here. Okay, forget the brown bag, but let's zoom in to see there's blood on the seat. That looks to me like somebody just sort of wiped their hands that had blood on their seat, okay?
So, where would said blood have come from? When he got in the vehicle, obviously he had no blood on his hands. Now, obviously, while his ass was still parked in that seat, he had blood on his hands. It's wiped right there. So where would that blood have come from? What did he do? I mean, I don't know how he would have given him CPR from the back seat. He would have had to have gotten up there with him. Again, it would have made no sense for him to be giving Charlie CPR. So what did he have? What did he handle? What was handed to him? What did he touch? What got the blood there?
Looks like someone who was sitting in the back seat wiped onto the leather seats. Okay, that's got to be Frank Turek. Do we agree that Brian Harpole didn't jump over to the seat to wipe his hand? That Rick Cutler couldn't have because he's 100 miles per hour. Did he? Most likely that's Frank Turek, who was sitting in the back seat praying. And it also looks like they used.
Morning, Cody. Thank you for the generous super chat. Good to see you here. And yes, done. I've already made plans for Greg to go over that with us too. But yes, my buddy has gone over it. Said he thought it was legit, and there was some good stuff there. So definitely more to come on that. Obviously, I looked over it and I agree. So we just got to get something put together. But good to see you here, Cody. We missed you yesterday. And I really appreciate the super chat. I don't know if you heard, since you weren't in here yesterday, but I guess my kid's going to state. My 10-year-old is going to state. So looks like I get to spend about a week over in Knoxville, which is about a 5-hour drive from here. We're going to have to get a hotel and I guess eat ballpark food for a week. So yeah, all the contributions are much appreciated because that's going to be a pricey little trip. So yeah, anything and everything people share right now will definitely go to good use.
That brown paper looks like an Uber bag to wipe their hands onto the bag. Now that could have been Brian. Maybe they passed it back and forth. Who knows? Like I said, Frank was the only person in the back seat. So the natural question arises, now that we're moving the plausibility of CPR, for what reason did Frank touch Charlie to the point that he may have acquired a lot of blood on his hands and a lot of blood on his clothes. So here, again, is my theory, not a fact, that could make sense. I'm going to tell you a story, just a tale, and if I did it. All of them climbed into the car. The door was indeed left open, and so Rick Cutler's hands were indeed tied up, making sure that Brian did not fall out. Brian Harpole then
Shoot me an email, buddy. The real one pcast@gmail.com. And in case anybody wonders, the real one podcast was not available. So, but the real one pcast@gmail.com. Shoot me an email, and then we'll figure something out.
whipped out his medical scissors, which are always pretty much safely in any medical bag. You're going to have a small set of scissors. And he began.
There you go, Cody. Yeah, it's Mr. Brett that's been helping me go over all that stuff. So, yeah, there you go. He said it's legitimate. And like I said, I already felt like it was. So, yeah, we're going to get Greg in on that to have a look too. So, more to come, buddy. More to come.
Cutting Charlie's shirt off of him in the car with about 5 to 6 minutes on the clock. Now, you should understand that it is not easy to cut through cotton using medical scissors. That's not what they're designed for.
No.
So with Rick Cutler's hands tied up, holding Brian so that he wouldn't fall out of the car, Frank leaned over for the assist, okay? Any person who has ever worked with fabric knows you need the tension of someone pulling the shirt to cut through it quickly, right? That's going to be your easiest option, is to try to cut through it and have someone pull to provide the tension so that it slices through. Once the shirt was cut, they lifted up Charlie to pull it from under him, and that's where all our road mic glass went. All of the shattered road glass pieces that were on Charlie.
Hey, we may still have to hit you up every now and then, because I'd be interested to know at least your I'd be interested to know your opinion on certain things, even though y'all's legal system is different. Seems like you could have some I believe your input would be valuable at times, and so yeah, that's good to know.
Under him got wiped off of his body, brushed onto the floor, right? Landed onto the ground. Now we're getting close to the hospital. Brian then realizes we should have been providing neck assistance, not cutting off his shirt. And so he grabs a pack, maybe 2, of Quick Clot to put on Charlie's neck, because otherwise there wouldn't have been any evidence that anybody was working on him on that very short ride.
Just don't let it happen again, Heather P.
They were going to receive them at the hospital. The very same reason that they didn't put him into an ambulance potentially is because they needed to remove Charlie's shirt and did not want people to ask questions about why, or notice that there was this microphone bits that were all over Charlie's body.
That's why I wonder, I really wish we could find somebody that would give some input, some type of witness, bystander, anybody that would be willing to talk. But that's why I think there is a chance that maybe when he rolled in the door, he didn't have a shirt. It seems like to me, if I was really trying to hide the fact, hide what happened, that I would want to get that shirt, because, with him laying like that, he could have, all that glass could be laid in, in his back, or, in the back of the shirt, could have collected there. Big glass stuck to him in places. Like, it just seemed like it would have been a lot safer to have cut it off of him in the vehicle, made sure he didn't have any stuck to him. But now maybe not. Maybe he did have that shirt on when he rolled through the front door.
Now, under that totally imagined scenario, that would of course mean that Charlie arrived to the hospital without a shirt on. He was shirtless, which would have been an inexplicable oddity that would require, Kash Patel's.
Absolutely, Cody. They all talk like they were just such professionals, but you just don't see it. I mean, you literally just don't see it. It's crazy. Yeah, they definitely, all those years of experience and all that training that they talk about, it sure didn't do them any good that day, did it?
FBI team to swoop in and to seize the cameras expeditiously, which they did. We didn't understand at the time. Why would they seize the cameras on the outside and on the inside of the hospital? We asked ourselves. That might be why. Again,
Sister Shonda, good to see you back. We're always happy to see return guests. This is the best chat on the internet, so these guys here are absolutely great. It's like a family, and we always love to see. We like to see the first timers end up being regulars. So welcome, and hopefully we'll be seeing you a lot more.
we're using our imagination here. It makes sense to me that there was an oddity on camera with how Charlie showed up in that SUV, whether it was the wrong time, maybe, but I think it was his condition. Okay. Because it would have been an impossible thing to explain if for some reason somebody had leaked the footage of inside of the hospital emergency room. It's a lie so stupid to say that you jumped on top of.
We all know how close she plays her cards. I've been thinking about it more and more lately. I wonder if anybody has leaked her some hospital footage. And possibly not. If the FBI got all that, maybe there was none to leak. But I've been wondering that now that we're getting into this subject, if in fact somebody had done that, here in the near future would be the time I would expect her to let that, put that out. So I don't know. Got my fingers crossed, but like I said, if the FBI got it, maybe there was just nothing to leak.
Him, all of which would have been filmed, right? FBI just got to step in and clean that up. That's not, if that's.
Good morning, Shannon Brown. Good to see you back. Yeah, we've got a couple repeats that's been in here. So yeah, just keep on coming back. I can promise you this is a great place to hang out. These people in the chat are amazing.
The story we're going with, there can be no cameras of what happened on the inside. Now, why do this? Why remove his shirt? Well, because explosive residue is extremely contagious, so to speak. The microscopic particles are passed through even the most casual contact between two people, okay? It adheres to surfaces. Explosives are substances that have adhesive energy. If Charlie were in fact killed by an explosive, everyone who came into
Yeah, Miss Debbie, I think that's basically what is described.
contact with his body would have had to get rid of their clothing. No questions.
So, maybe it wasn't all of that blood from head to foot is why they had to put on hospital scrubs. You reckon? Interesting.
Yes, they would have had to get, because they would have said that is explosive residue. A bomb dog.
Because again, according to Brian, they all changed their clothes. Justin was driving. Granted, I believe he did help carry Charlie. Dan Flood was in the front. Again, he did help carry Charlie. Frank Turk, we know, did not help carry Charlie and didn't have any blood on him. The only one I think that would have been that bloody, and look, by all appearances, when he got in the vehicle, he wasn't, would be Brian Harpole. How did these other people get that bloody? I think that she's on to something here. I think there was a reason other than bloody clothes for them disposing of theirs and having to change into hospital garb.
Would have smelled that in 3 seconds. Okay. Less than that. None of their clothing could have been tested, or they would have had traces of explosives. Everybody who was near him, their clothes have to be abandoned. And you sure as heck, like I said, better keep the bomb dogs at bay. So it's just as well that they all admitted, came out and talked about how they got into these scrubs. Not even that, but they also said that they threw out their clothes. But they, again, provided you with a reason, so that's not suspicious, right? Frank Turek told the story of why we'll never be able to see his clothes ever again. Take a listen.
We got to the hospital somewhere around 12:30. He was shot right, like maybe 12:20. It took us like 10 minutes to get there, maybe 15. We had no, it's just an SUV. We had no
They might not think we're that stupid, but they got their fingers crossed, hoping we're that stupid or that asleep.
Lights, we're just screaming.
I'm going to tell you right now, whether people realize it or not, I think one of the biggest things that has shook people awake and have them where they're even able to look at this from our point of view is COVID. I think COVID did it for a lot of people. I know it did me. I never realized how little interest our government had us in mind. Like COVID did a lot for me, and I know it did other people, a lot of people. I'd say the majority of people, that was and you've got people obviously that have been that way for forever. But I feel like a lot of people, when COVID came around, that's what kicked them right in the ass and said, hey, they're not what they're saying they are. They don't care about you like they say they do.
Yeah. We get there. Mikey had already sent a plane to get Erica.
Right.
And she got there, I want to say about 3:00. Talked to the doctor. Went up and had private time with Charlie's body, It's about 5:30.
Yeah, Heather, I don't remember what it looks like, but there is a tattoo that Brian has and that Rick Cutler has. I don't remember. Maybe Dan has it. They didn't all have it, I don't think, but they worked together and they all brothers. So they all went and got this tattoo together just because they're brothers, and so they always take care of each other and blah blah blah. I mean, and I get it, but yeah, that's what that is.
I'm about the only one in the emergency room area just standing there. I'm in scrubs because
Your clothes.
clothes were, I didn't want her to see any of that.
No.
You notice neither one of them said they were covered in blood. Frank says the clothes, and then Jack says, the clothes. Yeah, we didn't want her to see all that. Neither one of them actually said his clothes were covered in blood. I don't know if anybody's noticed that or not. I've heard that 1,000 times. That's the first time I picked up on that. That's interesting.
Way.
Well, two loving pastors discussing that they did this because they didn't want Erica to see him like that. He admits elsewhere he threw his clothes away. In essence, every crucial piece of evidence which might go some way of debunking the explosive theory was destroyed, given away for the almighty widow. How could you question it? Of course, Jack Hibbs says, of course you got rid of your clothes. Why you wouldn't want Erica to see the blood on your clothes? Yes, everything we're doing makes sense. Of course, she would want the cross.
Sophie, I hope you just caught that about the tattoo. Yeah, it's a little, yeah.
It's very convenient that everywhere there would be evidence of explosive residue got taken care of. Hey, let's repave it like tomorrow, the entire scene, because she doesn't want to relive that. Terrell, when I spoke to him, he used the widow. That was his excuse. I said, hey, why'd you take these cameras down? I didn't want Erica to relive Charlie dying. I said, Terrell, what do you mean? It's all over the internet.
Heavyweight, good to see you here. He would look like a mummy if he was wrapped in 36 feet of gauze. Hey, one of these days I'll reach out to you. I've got a lot of stuff planned here in the next near future, but when everything calms down a little bit, I'm definitely going to reach out to you, buddy. I appreciate you making that offer. Good to see you here. Good morning.
Why specifically the back cameras? I spoke to Erica and I didn't want her to relive another angle of Charlie dying. It's all very convenient. The widow is the most convenient person in the story.
And Heavyweight, I can promise you, if we got a rule about people dropping in the first time, we expect them to show up every time, or as many as possible. So hopefully you will do that. We'll see you in here a bunch, but I just want to say this is the best chat on YouTube, hands down. Best little community right here. everybody is absolutely great, and everybody will make you feel welcome. I can assure you that.
If it's a cleanup.
We got people that's been here like once, twice already, and saying my family. You know, that's just the way this chat is. It's amazing.
Job. We don't know. We don't know. No, we know. We'll be right back after the break. All right, you guys, our great nation turned 200.
What about that, Daisy? I just saw your comment. You got to go. Yeah, you too. Appreciate you showing up, coming out. It's always good to see you. And yeah, look forward to seeing you back. Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, we all need to get tattoos as well. That's right. Let's see. I cannot remember if she addressed any more of that after the fact. So let me just scoot that forward real quick and find out.
250 and say the keyword.
Let me get past our ads.
You 2 21-day parasite cleanse cycles. Same formula as.
I'm trying. Oh yeah, this is about the identity. Yeah, you know what? I don't think this is very long. Let's listen to this real quick.
Jen, hey, anybody at Timpanogos who recalls this incredible scene, please reach out to us. We'd like to know. By the way, speaking of my amazing at-home slews, I was really surprised by how many people emailed us regarding my assessment from Erica's entirely different signature. That it correctly informed me when I researched this that is a sign of dissociative identity disorder. And we talked about that yesterday. So many people reached out to me who have dissociative identity disorder or who had it. And all of them with the same stories. A trauma happened in their youth. They watched their dad kill their mom. They were abused as a child, and that they developed this ability to completely dissociate. And there was one person who said, not only is what you're saying fitting perfectly with Erica, given everything that we know about her and her alters, so to speak, which means the different personalities that she has, like the holier than thou presentation of when she's married with Charlie, the anger that we see. But they said, that is also a dissociative identity disorder is one of the telltale signs is the eyes. And they sent me this. I don't know if I'm reading this from my phone. And it says, yes, dissociative disorders can show observable physical changes in the eyes, including a strained look, unblinking stares, or opening the eyes harshly.
What about that?
That people immediately noticed about Erica. While dissociation.
Look, there's memes and videos going around over the eyes. You all know that. Like that is to the T.
Is a mental defense mechanism. It heavily interacts with the autonomic nervous system and trauma responses, directly altering your facial tension and your pupil dilation and your eye movements. This is from the NHS website, by the way. Physical changes in the eyes during a dissociation is the trauma stare, which is known as harsh widening. When a person dissociates, the body's fight or flight system can spike, which floods them with adrenaline, which forces the pupils to dilate and the eyes to open harshly. Like that was the thing that we were like, she kept doing, and we were going, what's going on? Another element of this is the fixed blank stare, which is like they're in a trance-like state. I have said that. It's like she's not there. A loss of visual focuses, and those are indicators that they're switching. Like they're switching into another, personality. And you guys are correct that the history of that does go back to Project Monarch. This was intentional. Our government did a lot of experiments with that.
There you go, Rod. You know, you were asking about Project Monarch. So, yep. We're going to look in that too in the members only.
The CIA and trained people to intentionally disassociate people that are serial killers that are used as weapons, and they want to make sure that they lock down their personalities if the police ever come across them. There's a lot of evil, intentional mental abuse that are imparted on victims because the government views that as an asset for people to be able to disassociate. So I wanted to point that out because I'm always so stunned by what I am learning on the show from people, and to thank everyone who has had this disorder or has this disorder. I don't know if it's ever solved, for explaining to me their personal stories, and all of them saying that you do have these memory gaps, which we're seeing with her, where she just totally says something totally opposite and becomes a different person. Like you can't just be anti-Israel and then, pro-Israel. And usually in those climates, when the CIA is involved in intentionally creating these
Unless you're Erica Kirk.
abused people who float between different personalities, there is a handler, so to speak, who has the key to get them to switch into different personalities. There's a lot that can be done on that, a lot of literature that's been written, but if you're interested in that, as I am, you should definitely look into it further. Again, MK Ultra program, the stuff that our military got involved with, and the beginning of that Project Monarch, which took place in Germany, and we brought over before regarding okay, before we even get which was
All right. Yeah, I don't think we need to hear about the Daily Wire. If anybody cares, y'all can let me know in the chat, but I seriously doubt it. I'm trying to real quick pull up I'm going to show y'all a photo if it will hurry up and come through. I failed to send it to myself earlier. But I've been working on some custom badges, for the YouTube members, and I have got some really cool ones, and I was going to go ahead and give y'all a sneak peek. I've got to do just a little bit to them before they're ready to go, but oh, good Lord, it's just not going to come through, is it? Come on. Let's see. Let's go. Come on. Let me make sure it's sent. Sorry, guys. I got to go do some real work here soon. So I'm not going to keep y'all just too long. I just was trying to get that to come through. Okay, let's see. I'm going to try one more time, guys. Okay. Really wanted to show you those. I was kind of tickled with them. See what y'all thought anyway. All right, I attempted to send it again. If that don't work, then I guess I'll have to show them later. I guess my internet is not running just super, super fast. Obviously. I'm sorry. I'm sitting here just wasting everybody's time. Okay, let me see. Is it in? Where is my outbox? Well, hell. Okay, I tried. I'll just have to show them to you later. I think y'all like them. I know that I know I'm pretty tickled with the way they turned out, and I'll see what y'all think. See if we need to make any changes or what have you. But they're pretty cool. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Guys, I'm fixing to have to go do some real work. It sucks. I'm gonna have to go sweat a while. Nothing like getting a good sweat on. I'm gonna try to scroll through here real quick and see if finish looking at these chats. Let's see. Yeah, we do need to get tattoos, Sophie. That is true. I guess we all need to get tattoos since we're all so tight. Let's see. Yes, absolutely. BS comes out of that mouth for sure. Let's see. Penny, good to see you. Penny, it's okay. Better late than never. Just back it on up, and then maybe you can make it on time for the next one. Um, and absolutely not heavyweight. You don't pick up, carry, or jump on top of a person with a neck injury. Not if your intention is to, help this person. So, yeah, there you go. His concern was making sure he was dead. That seems, I mean, that makes the most sense, That's what it appears to be. Let's see. See what else we got. Let's see what else we got. Mm-hmm. Um, I don't know. Was that not quick? No, not quick lock. I don't know. You would think, honestly. I don't know if it would work with a wound like that. I'm not a medical professional, so I can't really say. Um, and Tony, yeah, I know what you mean. I've had those thoughts myself. I don't know. I don't know if that's the case or, it could be that, he takes on some really high profile people and, his ability to get some of these people on his show would probably be way less if he always took an adversarial, approach. Maybe his intention is always just to let a person tell their story regardless of right or wrong. I don't know, but that makes me, yeah, wonder myself. I know exactly what you mean though. I love her nail color. That's good stuff, killing me, Smalls. Let's see. It did not hit an artery, so was he talking about it right? I remember him saying that. No, it did hit it did hit the jugular vein, but not an artery exactly. And that's why we see dark blood, and that's why we see it just kind of dump or pour out. As opposed to if it was an artery, we would have seen it pulsing and how all that stuff. So but yes, that is very true, Shauna. And I think they should be, I think they should be looking at these people. Okay, we're getting there, getting on down towards the bottom. A bunch of good comments. I wish I could read every single one of them, but there you go. That's right. Great minds think alike, Henderson. That's right. Get on get on Ben's little bitty horse and ride the fuck away, right on. Ah. Yeah, 135. I want to hear somebody address that. I want somebody to ask when that trial's going on whether they pulled any cotton, residue out of his neck. I want to know if they even did anything. Yeah, he'll have to have knee replacement surgery. Good stuff, Henderson. Good, good stuff. Oh yeah, he could forgive her and then sues her. That's how he's able to forgive her is by suing her for millions. Kind of grease the wheels. Kind of like. Okay, let's see. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Boy, y'all are. I love this. This is what they call engagement, and it is amazing. I absolutely love it. Okay. Hey Elizabeth, I seen you joining us a little late. It's all right. Just back it up. We need them. We need that. The after crew too. Zachary Crashy, Penny. Thank you so much. That is exactly who it is. So, Stacy, good morning. Good morning. Good to see you here. Hopefully you can make it here a little earlier on in the live next time. But I appreciate you showing up, being here regardless. We always miss people if they don't make it in here. Let's see. All right. I think we're getting there. I think we're getting there. Oh, hey, Basic. Good to see you, Basic. Absolutely great to see you. We got the replay crew going to be hitting it for us here. Let's see. Hey, I have not seen you in here before. You want me to just call you Hooter? I mean, I know that's supposed to be Shooter, but call anyway. I guess that joke might not have been as funny to everybody else as it was to me. Good to see you in here, Shooter's Den. We've got a rule about people that show up. If you pop in here once, we expect you to show up every time after that, or as much as possible. So we're hoping that you will abide by the rules, and we'll see you here a lot. This is the best chat, the best place to hang out. I can promise you, hands down. All these people will make you feel super welcome. We always love to see new people come in, and what we love even more than that is when they become regulars. So after the first time, you're officially family. So hope to see you here a lot more. Hope to see you here a lot more. Let's see. Yeah, Mikey was covered in blood too. Oh, wow. Y'all are awesome. Y'all are absolutely awesome. All right, guys. Yes. Hey, anybody, yes, please like the video. Please, if you didn't do it on the way in, please do it on the way out. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. We've got great stuff coming up. Look, we got Scarrick Kirk. I'm going to try to have her here Friday. I got John Bray coming on Saturday, and got lots of other good people that are going to be here. So you're going to miss that if you don't make sure you're subscribed. Hit the little notification bell. Plus, we go live 5 days a week, most weeks, and we'd love to just come in here and hang out. So it will be well worth your while. So make sure you subscribe, notification bell. Please like the video and share on all your socials, any of your socials. Please just share. I'm small right now. YouTube doesn't push me as hard as they do your bigger channels. So the more y'all share, the more eyeballs get on, the bigger we grow, and the better this whole thing goes. So anyway, let's see. Oh, wow. Heather P, thank you so much. And absolutely, I also appreciate the good luck wishes. Thank you. So generous. Y'all guys are just amazing. There you go, Susan. She's keeping count. 20 of you hadn't smashed the like button. Come on now. Pretend it's Brian Harpo and you're, punching it or slapping it or either way. Hey, Rod, I mentioned you earlier talking about Project Monarch. I hate you come in on my way out, but just back it up, buddy. Back it up. Oh, hey, Cody, again, thank you so much. Yeah, well, we're definitely going to get started on that first little tranche, and then once we get that one out there, we'll keep on, because I think it is very important myself. And thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you, very generous. Yeah. If he wasn't finished off, I'm sure carrying him like a side of beef probably would have done it. So. That's all right, Sleeping Beauty. I'm headed out of here. We'll hopefully we'll get to see you next time. You just do what you got to do. I get it. We sure did, Rick. We sure did. Just back it up. We sure did. All right, let's see. All right, guys, I'm starting to scroll a little faster. Y'all are awesome. I'm gonna have to scroll faster to ever catch up to you. I think y'all are chatting faster than I'm getting down towards the bottom. Hey, we got another one. Let's see here. Sylvana. Hey, Sylvana. Good to see you here. It's the first time I've seen you in here anyway. Welcome in. It sucks that we're on our way out, or I am. But look, just so you know my schedule, and for any of the other new ones that were in here, So Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I do 8 a.m. Central. And then Friday, 6 p.m. Central. And then either Saturday and or Sunday, so it just depends, either Saturday and or Sunday, somewhere between 6 and 8 p.m. Central. So we would love to have y'all back. We've got a rule about new people. Once they come in the first time, we expect to see you in here every time or as much as possible. So hopefully you can do that, and we will see you here a lot. I promise you, this is the best chat that you could ever hope to hang out in. These people will make you feel so welcome, and these are just good people. And JCH, almost missed yours. Yes, same to you. Please obey the rule. Be here every time if you can. It's good to see you here. Love the chats, love the engagement. It is amazing. Make sure you're liked and subscribed, because we got some really good guests coming up, as I was just saying. Got Scarrick Kirk, John Bray, and a whole list of people coming after that. So, yes, please like, subscribe. And hey, anybody else that wants to do some special stuff off of the Charlie Kirk trajectory, make sure and sign up for a membership. And we're going to be doing all that based off of y'all's request. So, yeah. That's also a good way to contribute and to help me out. So to help the channel out. Okay. Any more new ones in here? Any more that I need to? Guys, y'all are awesome. I love y'all to death. It is amazing. I don't know if there is a bottom. Is there a bottom, guys? I don't know. I don't think there's a bottom. The best Heather. Hey, that's you're not a psychopath. I can promise you. Good to see you. Good to see you. I want to make sure I notice everybody. Call everybody friends with Matt. Matt in the house. We got a real celebrity here with us, guys. We on our way out, buddy. Just back it up. And make sure and put in the chat if you're going live later and what time. Always plug your stuff when you're hanging out in the chat now. All right, let's see. Anybody else I need to? Yeah, I don't think there's a bottom, guys. I'm going to have to stop scrolling. Wait, what about banning? Oh, okay. I see. I thought you meant you had gotten banned. That would be crazy. All right, guys. I'm going to have to just go back and read the last of these later on. Nope, there's the bottom. There is a bottom. Okay. All right, guys. I love y'all. Yes, definitely. You can have that chat for as long as you want. I really appreciate y'all, guys. Y'all sit there and chat away. It has been fun. It's been real fun. So let's see, today is Thursday. Yeah. So, should be seeing y'all tomorrow about 6 p.m. That is right. Just make sure my days aren't confused. Yes. Yes. So I should be seeing y'all tomorrow about 6 p.m. And, hopefully that'll be with Miss Erica Kirk. I'm fixing to try to get a hold of her right now. So like, subscribe, share, please sign up for a membership. I think it's pretty reasonable. Yeah, y'all just leave the chat on for us. I love that. I will definitely do that. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Thank y'all very much. Love y'all. I'll see y'all back real soon, like right here. Thanks.